I stay with the heat even though I'm a sad boy. You better watch the way you breathe around me for that breath be your last boy. I've been drinking red boy. I've been chopping on these birds, buck no, I bet my rich in really 9 months. Overseas, honey skin.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm back, of course. A few days at sea. It was pretty good. I mean, things get a little bit boring when you keep saying the same scene over and over though. Just water. Maybe you get a little bit depressed, but that's part of the job. Anyway, let's get into the third part of this, and I'll be trying to rapid fire this as much as I can, but I'm definitely gonna get tired and annoyed with doing that. This was already 32 pages long on Google Docs to write down, so you can imagine how annoyed I'm gonna be if I mess this up and can't do it all in one take. I'll probably do a lot of takes. Anyway, let's get right into it. I know y'all can't just, bear to just listen to me talk about my life. Instead of just, focusing on the video. So let's just not hold back. Let's get right into it. No recap. Let's just go. Continuing with Todoroki and Deku's battle, we see Todoroki land, skating back as he swings upward, releasing another massive ice, only for Izuku to hold his hand out as he pulses out a wave of black that surrounds and swallows up the attack before disappearing. Todoroki continues to run from Mydoria to stay far away, and just then before him that same black mass unravels back into reality and spews out that very same attack, which then hits and sends him flying. He offset the teleportation, thought Todoroki. How did he get so good already with this? This is not even his quirk. And there goes another quirk, ladies and gentlemen, separatism. There really seems to be no limit to how many abilities Mydoria can use at once. Running forward, Izuku is enveloped by darkness that is then inverted before reappearing and spewing him out behind Todoroki, who's flying through the air still, and he proceeds to kick him in the back as he gets the wind knocked out of him and is then brought to the floor. It's not your burden to carry. You and your father are not the same. Todoroki struggles to push off Izuku and slams down his hand as he springs up a spike of ice, which Izuku would avoid as he pulls back just for a moment. This allows Todoroki to roll out and stand and encircle Izuku from all sides using two massive trails of ice. But Rika exits from her void again as she gigantifies her fists and slams them down, and the trail of ice is just shattered. You're not gonna touch Izu while I'm still here. You're shivering, Todoroki. Quirks are more physical than people think. You're hurting yourself. Did my father put you up to this? As he stood with heavy breath, everyone felt the change in atmosphere, with Izuku now getting a little mad. Everyone here is trying to do their absolute best to become a hero, pushing past their limits. If you're gonna half-ass it, then I'll crush you totally. Ugh! With a scream, Todoroki fires a massive iceberg that expands and almost reaches the seats as everyone cowers at having to deal with this again. But there is no longer any Izuku in sight. Everyone wondered what happened to him. Wait, look, he's trapped in the iceberg. Yeah, him and Rika, said Uraraka. As Todoroki gathers his breath, however, cracks spread through the ice from Izuku's point right as he forces his way out, crumbling the entire structure, leaving the crowd roaring as the falling shards of ice are managed to be caught by a ramp made by Cementos. While Izuku charges, punching Todoroki across the face, when he then feels his leg be flash frozen. But he breaks out easily, lifting his left leg and axe-kicking Todoroki with such force that he flips forward and slams to the floor, right as he's then grabbed by the collar and lifted up. Taking it from someone who doesn't care about heroism, Todoroki, you don't want to just give up on this. Pulling back, he throws him into the air, leaping after him, and appears behind him in a flash as a massive cut explodes from his stomach, leaving everyone kind of horrified, but then it instantly heals, confusing them. No worries, folks. By reversing cursed energy, Mydoria has the power to also heal. Is there anything this kid can't do? I mean, all things considering, Endeavor's kid has no chance. Suddenly, this person talking stops as those who said things alike to this noticed Endeavor nearby with a look of fury being aimed at the stage, thinking, that boy's not just the same level, he's stronger than him. So why aren't you using it, Shoto? As he thrusts to the floor, Izuku lands and turns to face him as Rika flies to him saying, why don't you just knock him out? Because I want to save him, Rika. Just then, Todoroki begins to start getting back up, staggered as his fans cheer him on to make a comeback, but he only has one mission on his mind. I'll prove it. I'll prove it to my father. Shut up about Endeavor. Screw that. Your quirk is yours, not his. This time everyone hears Izuku's words, being surprised about feeling such a shiver down their spine from this intensity, and a moment passes in Shoto's mind. This one time, he was watching TV with his mom. He saw All Might. Yes, quirks are passed down from parent to child, but that's about it. The rest is up to the individual, said All Might. One must learn to appreciate their own talents. That's why I always say that I am here. A young Shoto, starstruck by these words, etched them into his mind. So, why did I forget? He thought. His left scarred side brimmed with flames as he gets teary-eyed and releases a massive flash of flames. He finally stood his ground, and the grin on Endeavor's face grows as Shoto leaves everyone amazed. Seriously, what is wrong with you? Don't you want to win? Whatever. I want to surpass you. I want to be a true hero, said Todoroki. He shows the widest smile he had ever worn, which puts a smile on Izuku's face, with Todoroki then warning him as he explodes with ice as well. He swings his hands forward as he clasps them together, and Rika at that moment had her mask shatter, showing one eye as a massive beam of cursed energy builds up, and it fires with the opposing forces meeting as the tension rises. But instantly, Todoroki's attack is blown to nothing, hitting and sending him flying as he slams into the walls of the stadium. Shoto Todoroki is out of bounds. Izuku Mydoria moves on to the third round. So that's the real you, Todoroki, said Izuku. As he passes out, Todoroki does so with a smile on his face. As he does, now where Izuku has to run to him and help him, carry him off the stage towards the other end of the tunnel. And while doing so, he applies positive cursed energy to Todoroki and allows him to stand on his own. Yeah, he's definitely waiting for you down there. I know. I'm almost itching to tell him off. As he walks off, Izuku laughs. Yeah, you do that. Thank you, Rika. As she hugs him from behind, Rika snuggles against him as he laughs, asking if she wants to stay out a little longer, and she nods aggressively as they exit, and they would, start to go back to the stands. But while he's walking, Rika, of course, has to ask, "Are you okay now?" Maybe a little bit more than before. The only way I'm ever going to be comfortable with all of this, all these people, is by putting myself in more situations like these, or I can't calm or save people. Shoto, finally, you used it. Now I can teach you everything I know. What do you say? Screw off. In the last moments when I clashed with Mydoria, I forgot all about you. The man I strive to be like isn't you. It's All Might. As he hears these words, Endeavor is frozen still as Todoroki walks past him, asking him to stay away, and he heads to the stands. And upon making it out to open air again, he has many admiring him, saying that he did a great job. Maybe next time, right? We'll be rooting for you. He's surprised they even care and bows to them, apologizing for going overboard with his ice twice, which makes some girls swoon as he then heads to the spot where Wane is. Todoroki, you good? Asks Uraka. Perfect. Instant healing really does come in handy. Next up, Kirishima fights Bakugo and loses. Izuku faces Iida and beats him. By the point it was, almost time for Bakugo to face Izuku is when things really got ramped up because people were waiting for this. Looking to the stage, Todoroki finds Deku and Bakugo staring each other down. Not the friendly way they used to. Well, in a way, yes, and yet they seemed out for blood. Well, more so Bakugo than Izuku. Those two are gonna destroy that stage. Yep, it's about to be a massacre. At last, the best amongst UA's first years will be decided. Katsuki Bakugo versus Izuku Mydoria. Now ready, start! They slowly walk and turn into running before then instantly dashing toward each other as the two clash center stage. They are blown back, and while in the air, Bakugo throws forward a massive explosion enveloping Izuku, who then leaps out of it heading to the sky using his mom's quirk. Bakugo, after landing, then blasts right after him, spinning and building momentum, but just as he strikes, Rika forms, biting his arm as he winces in pain and detonates the explosion elsewhere. However, Rika doesn't let go, with Bakugo being thrown to the stage as he stops his impact with the little explosion. Now keep this in mind, folks, these two were actually really close, so it means that they will not hold back at all. From what I've already heard, they've been fighting since they were kids. As the smoke is blown away, Izuku yells, "Yeah, I'd appreciate if you didn't air out our entire history, Sensei." Same, it's pissing me off, said Bakugo. As he lands, Izuku then blitzes forward, throwing a palm strike as he releases an explosion from his hands, leaving everyone shocked as Bakugo dodges it and does the same. But he does so with an uppercut, which Izuku smacks aside before grabbing him by the collar and throwing him over his own shoulder into the air. He finds himself being hurled towards Rika, who yells, "Plummet!" As his eyes widen, Bakugo is slammed to the stage, bouncing back as he gags. However, quickly with a spin, he releases a dome of flames and forces himself to stand while filling the stage with smoke, obstructing everyone's view as they start to wonder what's happening in there. He then sneaks attack Izuku inside the smoke screen, but Izuku's sensitive senses, enhanced by cursed energy, pick everything up for him, and he turns with an elbow, which Bakugo ducks, slamming a punch into the back of Izuku's knee, making him buckle. As he falls, an explosion is slammed right into his face, blowing away the smoke and sending him flying up into the air, where Rika flies to and catches him. "That was mean, Bakugo," yells Rika. "Oh please, I'm just doing what I can to survive, damn it." Clasping his hands together at this point, Izuku is enveloped by a wave of darkness along with Rika as they both appear right above Bakugo, and Rika drops Izuku. They both pull back their fists, bursting with cursed energy as they pound into him, releasing a crackle of black lightning, which trails behind Izuku's fist as he drags Bakugo through the air and launches him towards the outer bounds of the stage. Another quirk has been revealed, a lightning-based one. What? He couldn't have got it off me, right? Asked Kaminari. "No, the colors are completely different," said Todoroki. Right as Bakugo manages to stop himself with an explosion, however, he is then pulled towards Izuku, who pulls back his fist, exploding it with cursed energy. And Bakugo reels in, building detonations in the palm of his hands, as they will then clash. Izuku is enveloped and hit blank point by the attack, while Bakugo suffers the punch of Izuku to his gut. In that instance, everyone is left silent, with both boys being knocked back, but quickly once again finding their footing and running back at each other. "I ain't done yet, Deku. I don't really care for fighting, it's not my thing." Bakugo then throws another explosion, but Izuku dodges and spins mid-air as he comes down with a kick to Bakugo's head, and it lands as he's knocked forward. Izuku then lands, throwing him back with a kick to his face right after. "Oh, it's happening again," thought Bakugo. We start off equal, but then he starts to finish warming up, and in the blink of an eye, Mydoria Izuku appears right behind Bakugo, and he has a wide grin as he yells, "Get blown away!" He's blown back forward, spinning, and swatted down like a fly by a waiting and grinning Rika. At this point, it's just a massacre. That kid needs to just give up. Yeah, he's strong, but this is literally a losing battle. "Do you guys remember when Izuku said that he didn't like fighting?" asked Tokoyami. "Yeah, I don't think he realizes how much he's enjoying it in the moment," said Jiro. "Oh wait, what is this? Katsuki Bakugo's getting back up," said President Mike. "What an indomitable will." "Oh, shut up," said Bakugo. "I know I'm awesome." Izuku at this point says Rika doesn't need to interfere for this one, and as she pouts, she flies away from them, saying that he better not get hurt, and Bakugo raises his head. "I ain't done yet." As he holds his hands up together, rather than explosions, he begins to let off twinkling particles. They almost look like fireworks, and Izuku was caught off guard by the ensuing explosive rise in speed from his friend as he blitzes and smacks Izuku across the face with an explosion of huge proportions that tear half of the stage to rubble, leaving everyone amazed. "How do you like that?" yells Bakugo. Cementos makes a massive wall blocking the detonation from reaching the people, but now they can't see anything. Izuku, though, after being hit by this, instantly heals and lands in the part of the ravaged stage, where Bakugo appears behind him. Cluster. Before he can throw another explosion, however, Izuku turns, smiling. "You had me pretty scared there." As that wall of cement begins to drop, Bakugo wonders what the hell he's talking about. Why does he look so confident? It's clear that he will not win this time. "I don't know what it is. Maybe it was that weird black spark from earlier. I don't have a quirk like that in my arsenal. Or do I?" thought Izuku. "It doesn't matter." Now, I was gonna have Izuku use certain abilities he only got from others here and have them obviously, be kind of translated to powers in JJK, but in a way that made sense. But I'm gonna do something a little different. Obviously, everything is still the same, but I'll have Izuku use something that belonged to someone who had an ability connected to his own bloodline a long time ago, meaning that what he's about to pull off is literally like something from generations ago. Pulling his arm back, Izuku grabs a hold of space itself and pulls it to his left with his right arm, which aggressively pushes aside Bakugo's arm. His rival turns worried as he notices his arm was now elongated and deformed. Right then, Izuku slams a punch into his stomach with his left and cracks the surface of the sky itself, leaving everyone not just impressed but confused. Bakugo is then sent flying out of the ring and crashes onto the grass, and his arm returns to normal, with Izuku letting space snap back to normal as well. Okay, maybe I don't know my quirk as well as I thought I did, thought Izuku. Bakugo Katsuki is out of bounds, and Izuku Mydoria has won. Back at home, Ingo cheers, jumping up and down like crazy as Rika runs to and hugs Izuku just as Bakugo sits up, leaning his back against the wall. I was close this time. Damn. Let's give him a round of applause, huh? Izu, I felt something weird in my storage. What did you do? As he shrugs his shoulders, Izuku says he's just got a feeling that he was peering into something deeper concerning the quirk that he has. And I'm sure we've all heard the term history repeats itself. Izuku lost his sister named Rika just like Yuta did. Obviously that's because of me, because I created the story. He gained a similar technique to his, but in the form of a quirk. But curse techniques are known to skip generations, just like quirks are. It just so happens that Izuku is a distant relative to certain people who have powers that would have been weak, right? But now that he's kind of like inheriting them slowly, and he will come to find out more, powers that he didn't know that he had. Well, it's just gonna become a little bit, what's it called? It's not even that hard of a word. It's just that he's gonna have to learn how to get used to getting these new powers. That's it. Like, imagine you didn't know that you were getting something, but in this case for Izuku, it literally just pops up in his head. It's kind of weird, so he has to get used to all that new information. I don't know why I'm complaining about it. He's gonna get more OP. But it also kind of explains his boundless amounts of cursed energy. Generational trauma too, damn. But this is kind of like an alternative version of Yuta's case, because he had I forgot the dude's name in JJK. Damn, I'm dragging this shit. I don't want to keep dragging this shit. Gojo's ancestor. In this case, Izuku's own ancestors, like weak quirks, have just been passed down to him, but he turns them strong. So yeah, that's basically it. I just wanted to make sure I got that point across. I did think of making a Yuta Kotsu in this world, but no, that would be kind of annoying. I want to make it a little different. Now as he heads to the tunnels and enters, Izuku can now sense that he has new quirks in his arsenal. He has more than just that one that he pulled out there, and it feels quite bizarre. We cut to the ceremony as it begins to take place, and Midnight points to the winners. We find Izuku in first place, Bakugo in second, and Tokuyami in third. They are bombarded by flashes from multiple cameras, and they face their classmates who cheer for them. Oh, in third place we have Tokuyami and Iida, but he's currently busy with the family emergency, said Midnight. Now, for the presentation of the medals, I know you. Falling from the top of the stadium, All Might lands before the press and students. I am here to congratulate you. Oh, sorry, I cut you off, didn't I? It's okay, she said. And so All Might would congratulate his students on their growth. First up, Tokuyami. As he lays the medal around his neck, he gives him a hug. You're a strong one for sure, but a quirk isn't always enough to overcome a bad matchup. It must be done by you honing your own innate strength. Thank you. All Might would then move on, put the medal on Bakugo. I think it's fair to say that everyone heard of how passionate you two were. The rivalry is one of the best I've seen. Keep pushing yourselves like this. This is just a minor setback. It's not about beating him, it's about keeping up. I learned a long time ago that I can't beat him. Besides he's my friend, I'm not going for the kill or anything. That's so very like you, said All Might, as he hugs him and Bakugo just nods. All Might then arrives at the first place winner, seeing Izuku barely keeping it together as he shivers and sweats. Are you sure you're okay? Should we? No, I'm fine. Completely fine. I just have a thing about crowds. All Might recognizes how hard it must have been for him this entire time and puts the medal around his neck, which for Izuku feels like the ultimate prize that encapsulates everything that he's done to this point. And Mydoria, you were a true hero today. I'm not a fellow classmate and such. You and Todoroki are quite similar. It's good that you're connecting. Also, I can't tell you how much... more I can about control. You did very good with your quirk. Very masterful. Good job overall. He hugs him, giving a laugh, as does Izuku, and then he lets go, introducing the top 3 as the winners. However, all this exposure isn't really good. The League of Villains definitely saw it as Shigaraki obsessed over Mydoria because they couldn't find anything about him, about his past. They wanted to find an Achilles heel. Everyone goes home and they go to rest. Todoroki visits his mother, which he hasn't done in a very long time. Uraraka sees her parents, who return from work just to see her, and it means a lot because they're very busy. Izuku shows off the medal to his mom, and Iida has a much worse fate. On a rainy day, Izuku runs the sidewalk of the city, blowing away the rain that makes contact with his raincoat. And just then, as he's running, he's called out to and looks to his left, seeing a kid pointing to him, and he just waves back and runs off. "Mom, it's him, he was on TV." Izuku with a smile then continues to dart off, thinking, that's been happening all day. Eventually he makes it to UA and meets Iida, who starts running along with him as his class president would say. "Good work getting to school on time, Mydoria. Anything for a buddy. By the way, are things okay at home?" Just then they reach the lockers and Iida takes a moment, taking off his own raincoat as he looks at Izuku with these dead eyes. Why wouldn't they be? "Iida, you... Alright, come on, let's go. We're gonna be late." As he walks on ahead, Izuku says to wait as he puts away his stuff, but as he turns, he finds someone standing behind him. No, 2 people. Tsukauchi and Aizawa. "Sensei, don't we have class today?" "We do, but remember what I said about monitoring you? Yeah, we need your help." Izuku lifts an eyebrow to this, and moments later, a portal opens right at the hospital Tensei resides at. The 3 would step out of the portal, enter the establishment, go through all the proper customs, and eventually arrive at Tensei's room. And upon seeing him, Izuku's eyes fill with anger. He didn't tell me. He lied about it. All this suffering. "Are you sure this isn't too much, Tsukauchi? He's just a kid." Aizawa says nothing, simply looking at the boy. Tsukauchi sighs and explains what's wrong with Tensei's body, and essentially he's been paralyzed from the waist down. His nerves are messed up and such. "You think you can do anything?" "Rika." Flying out of the black void, Rika didn't have the same cheery attitude, as she after all kind of mirrors Izuku's emotional state, and she holds her arm out, as does Izuku. The hero is then covered with positive cursed energy, and just then the doctor in charge of Tensei's recovery walks in. "Is that him, the boy you were talking about?" "Yes, I'd like to try any options. Anything at all," said Aizawa. "It'll all be worth it. Calm down, focus on those parts, completely fill them with power." The monitor linked on Tensei's vitals at this point begin to show an even steadier rhythm with his heartbeat and overall condition, as the wounds on his body instantly heal until Tensei wakes up as the doctor calls in a nurse, asking everyone to let him inspect the man. Izuku and everyone listen, and they watch the nurses enter and close the door behind, and Aizawa puts a hand on their shoulder. "All we can do now is wait." "You did well, Mydoria." "I hope I did." They stand at that door for an hour, unable to know the results, but didn't sit, and at most would just pace back and forth until the doors finally opened, and they all snap back, looking to the doctor as he walks out, and all they needed was the look on his face to know. It worked. He's regaining feeling in his legs. "You did amazing, my boy." This completely shocked and left the 2 adults relieved, while Izuku falls to the floor, alerting them as they ask if he's okay, and he raises his hanging head, showing tears. Man, I'm so glad." "You gotta stop scaring me like that," said Aizawa, as he gives him a hand. And of course this meant that they all needed to call the Iida family and alert them of what just happened, which they did. And of course Iida was called while President Mike and Midnight were helping everyone pick out their hero names, because, you know, obviously Aizawa was not there. And as he ran into the hospital last, Iida runs the halls until he stops when he sees Izuku. "Mydoria." Izuku nudges to the door, saying, "Go on, and don't do that again. Lying is unbecoming of you, class president." Iida realizes that Izuku must have healed his brother, otherwise there'd be no reason that he was here specifically. And with tears in his eyes, he thanks him as he runs in, and Izuku turns to see him hug his brother along with his entire family. I really wish we got to see Iida's entire family though. That was kind of a missed opportunity. And he starts leaving, passing Aizawa, who asks if he's not going to stay. "What? We still have class. I mean, so do you." Realizing that he left everyone with President Mike, he says, "Oh crap." So afterwards, Izuku and Iida are eventually returned to class, but they find that everyone has already chosen their names and Midnight was already gone. So they take their seats, and they really do feel like they missed out. "Well, where were you guys?" asked Uraka. "Not important," said Aizawa. "Pick your names later. I'm sure you have some sort of idea." As he nods, Iida says that he does, and Izuku says same. Aizawa also says that he had, Midnight and Present Light hold off on showing them something, and pressing a remote, he flashes a hologram onto his board. "These are the number of offers for each of you, at least those who are recognized the most." Grabbing and shaking Izuku, Mineta says, "Dude, you got over 5,000, that's crazy." "God, they're in a whole other league," said Kaminari. Oh my god, I'm on the board," Uraka exclaimed. Yes, would you please stop shaking me?" asked Uraka. "Alright, sorry. Izu, you don't look excited." "Izu?" asked Bakugo. "I can't call him Deku." "Well, that's Rika's thing," said Izuku. "Dang it, I knew I got it from somewhere." Izuku then said he was messing with her and she can call him whatever she wants, but as for why he isn't phased, it's because he's still just choosing one hero, so it doesn't really matter to him. "Right, Todoroki?" As I look back at him, Todoroki just nods. And by the way, this never has happened before, and as Aizawa says as much, the disparity and difference is much more immense this year. But no worries, you will still all get your chance to have some experience. He would then hand them some papers containing the offers closest to, them. And by closest, I mean people who are like nearby, so you don't have to travel that far. And those who got nothing are given the options that they have even without recommendation. And yeah, Izuku then goes to leave with Bakugo when the school day is actually about to end, and he's approached by All Might, who suggests for him to meet a certain someone, to work with a certain hero. And as they walk together, though, Bakugo asks, "Why the hell are you shivering?" I was gonna ask the same thing. "Oh, it's nothing. The man I am suggesting to you, he used to teach me. He actually taught here before, like me." "Someone who taught you?" "No wonder. Can I think about it?" As All Might nods, he waves goodbye to them, and the students will then head home, and he really hopes Izuku does take this opportunity. "Aside from young Togata, he's the perfect successor. I want to be sure," thought All Might. "He might be able to advance it to the next level like me." When the days of internships come, everyone gathers at the train station with their costumes, and then they separate, taking about 45-minute train for most of them, and Izuku specifically himself has 45 minutes, and then he arrives to his mentor's place, and it's quite a shabby building. I guess not all heroes reap the same benefits. He must have been an amazing hero. Why is he leaving here? He walks up the steps and opens the door, asking for someone, when he then flicks the lights on and instantly is horrified to find an old man in a pool of blood. Kneeling down quickly, he covers him with reverse cursed energy and flips him over to check for the wound that he had gotten. When the old man then opened his eyes, "I'm alive." "Yes, you are." "Wait a minute. Is this ketchup?" Jumping out of the grasp of the young man, the old man asks, "What was that stuff? Give my old bones a good kick." It's reverse cursed energy. "Hi, I'm Izuku Mydoria from UA, reporting for the internships." "Huh? Who?" I'm Izuku. "Who are you again?" "I'm Izuku Mydoria, sir." "Oh, Toshinori, that's not my name." The two then stand there in silence as Izuku kept a smile and Gran Torino chuckles. "You don't break easy, huh? What's that supposed to mean?" "It means you passed." Dashing off around the room, Gran Torino holds himself up above the door's hinges as Izuku turns, completely surprised at his speed. "Come at me, kid." As he flows with cursed energy, Izuku gets in a fighting stance, similar to that of the Wing Chun fighting style, as the smiling Gran Torino lunges at him with a kick, and Izuku barely parries it, throwing it elsewhere. The old man lands, darting about, and appears behind him, and Izuku ducks, falling forward and catching himself with both hands before spinning his legs like a helicopter. And they actually feel like helicopter blades, because when he knocks him on his face, he spins and lands, catching himself, and Gran Torino is wincing in pain. And then Izuku just regains balance and gets ready for another go. "I'm not used to fighting in tight spaces." "So you say. Jeez, you got a leg on you. Not bad, kid. Put your costume on. I ain't gonna ruin your uniform." As he nods, he would then grab and lay down his case, and moments later, he's wearing the same costume. Simple. I like it. "Now, you're gonna have to explain everything about your quirk for me. it doesn't really click, and it pisses me off how much I don't get it. Oh, okay, sorry. It's really not that complicated. I copy and store quirks by getting someone's DNA. So did you copy the ice fire kid? No, my flame quirk is from my father. It's pretty strong. Your hero? He's dead. My condolences. Don't worry about it. I also took my mom's quirk. My power amplifies it, so they're all stronger than they should be. Because my parents weren't really the hero types, you know. Then how did you use ice again? I don't get that part. That's because of my lab series. But you won't tell me. I've heard everything at this age. Give it a go. 2 hours later. The old man was hanging on all fours. Stop talking. Just please stop. I did warn you. Why can't you have something simple like everyone else? Why is that my fault? But yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm gonna be honest with you, kid. The reason why you're actually here isn't potential. Well, you do have more than just potential, but it's compatibility. I don't understand. I'm gonna tell you a story. The story of 2 brothers. Yes, Gran Torino divulges to Izuku the secrets of One for All and the origins of All for One, and as well as the dark age that used to be when the villain reigned. Why did he do this? It's because even though Izuku isn't a successor, compared to his peers, he clearly has a talent that even All Might doesn't. Whether that be how he is scary calm when he's fighting, and how adaptive he is, or just how broken his power is, he is someone they need. Just, you know, in case he does earn the power, because like All Might said, Togata is a very good successor as well. So just trying to keep options open. You know, this is just a lot to take in. Does this mean I'm a potential successor? Hell yeah. If you don't want to, that's fine though. I'm still gonna rough you up. I can see why All Might fears you. Good, I thought I was losing my touch. Now get ready. As he gets to the same fighting stance, the man leaps to the ceiling and past Izuku, who doesn't move as he knows he wasn't trying to hit him. And pretty soon he's bouncing all around again as even Izuku finds it hard to focus. Now when it comes to quirks, no matter how talented one is, you need 2 things: understanding of what your power can truly do, and especially experience. Izuku has one of these things. As Gran Torino strikes him above with a punch, a portal is formed from which he falls through, getting catapulted out from another one before Izuku, who palm strikes him with positive energy as he's sent flying into a wall, coughing before then jumping again. They're non-lethal, giving damage and healing instantaneously. Quite the student this time, thought the hero. Now as they continue training, time passes like clockwork, and Gran Torino eventually gets some hits in, and he was honestly just trying to help Izuku with hand-to-hand combat and how to think on his feet. He can control his quirk pretty good already, and the man can't teach him how to get new abilities. Izuku already has a natural talent for it. Now after about 2 days, Gran Torino decides to take his protege out onto the streets, and they head to take a train for Hosu. The ride takes quite a long time, and it begins to near night. And this entire time, Izuku and Gran Torino were actually conversing a bit. Maybe if you spend less time worrying about what people think and just focus more on just saving people, you wouldn't freak out so much. I don't really care what people think. It's just, I hate their stares. Let me tell you something, Mydoria. When you feel you're about to lose it, anything messes up your process, you said your power relies on negativity? As Izuku nods, Gran Torino says, turn that fear into hope, despair into power. Otherwise, I'll do it for you. You say the scariest thing, Sensei. That's how you learn. I mean, I get it, though. If I think of it like that, it does make it easier. Thank you. Just then, however, the car door of the train they're in is busted through with the hero crashing in as everyone panics. It's a hero. What happened to him? A massive, ugly Nomu then rears its ugly head. I'm gonna say it twice because they really are disgusting looking. And it roars, and when leaping out from the void, Rika shouts with an even greater malice, making the creature almost whimper like a little dog as she backhands it, sending it flying as she turns to everyone. You're okay! Is she demanding or asking? Everyone thought. Running past Rika and falling out while holding Gran Torino, Izuku calls for his spirit, who flies to and catches him, and therefore both of them. I have something that might help, said Rika. I took it off the Nomu. As Izuku looks up, she has a piece of its flesh in her teeth, which she then spits out, calling it gross, and he smiles. Rika, you're awesome. I know, get ready. She throws him up as Gran Torino asks what he's doing, and Rika flies to and pushes him higher than before, spreading her arms out and exploding black wings from his back, similar to the Nomu, and she then lets go, catapulting Izuku forward as he pierces the air, flying and flapping his wings. This is gonna take some getting used to, but I can at least glide us down. Better yet, you can throw me, said Gran Torino. As he nods, he grabs him from the back, pulls him back, and pushes him, filling him with cursed energy and boosting his strength, and the senior hurls towards and bounces off the ground as he reaches it, and allows him to see the chaos that's going on, and the chaos has been spreading. Turning mid-air, he then spins and kicks through the brain of a Nomu, crashing and turning back to see it, regenerate. Kid! On the way yells Izuku as he flies down with Rika, and as they reach down, they split ways, with Rika grabbing a giant Nomu, chasing after a couple and slamming its face down before looking to the two. Go away now! As they nod, thanking her, and run away, meanwhile, Izuku would then spew frost from his mouth and then gather it into his hands, as if kind of caressing it, and he directs it as he just blows it everywhere with his wide arms, opening his arms up, and he basically takes out everything, all the fire that's near him, and this puts him as a target for the Nomus who attack him, but other heroes restrain them. Keep putting it out, we'll hold him back. As he nods, he continues to do the very same move and kind of just spreads all this cold, and the heroes try to keep their end of the deal, but most they can do is just restrain them until these monstrous creatures start to outnumber them. And Rika can't be everywhere at once, neither can Izuku. And as he flies up to get a better view, the fires are out now, but this many people in the area kind of makes it hard to focus or commands. Screw it. Flying down, Izuku crashes as his wings retract and yells for Rika, who then throws him his sword. And as he catches it, he runs towards a bulky Nomu, who he then rips through from its right rib all the way past its brain, before he then pulls back his hand and blasts it with an explosion. He then turns, blasting another winged one from above as it's heading for him, and while it's blinded, he skewers through its stomach and swings up, ripping it apart with a blast of cursed energy and just destroys it to shreds. Who is that guy? Is he a new hero? I've never seen him before. No, I think he's just a kid. Izuku then lands, rolling as his eyes go blank and his muscles tense, with him yelling for Rika, who, as she kicks a Nomu, cracks space and flies to and grabs him by the arm. She then swings him at another Nomu that he then meets with this downward slash as he lands, skidding through the cement, stopping himself right as the creature is split in half. That should be enough. By the way, when I say that she kicked a Nomu, technically she doesn't have legs, she just used her ghost tail. I truly underestimated you. Izuku, regathering his breath, then turns, seeing Endeavor, and this makes quite a scene, which, it kind of surprises everyone that he's here, including Izuku, who Rika then flies in front of as he approaches. Stay away from Izu, you're mean. The memory of a little Shoto trying to protect his mother flashes before his eyes as he retracts his hand while he was trying to give him a handshake, and Rika keeps staring him down when Izuku then walks out from behind, saying that it's okay. Gran Torino then lands before him, asking if Endeavor is bothering his student. No such thing, old man. This is what is that? Izuku has never gotten so overtaken by emotion in a while. When he looks far off, wiping his eyes, he sees an eerie aura from afar, and he then leaps and sprouts his wings, heading for it. Where the hell are you going, kid? Hey, you! As he looks to Rika, she enters the void, and he rages, and Izuku says it's urgent. Someone's gonna die. How could you possibly know that? Asked Gran Torino. The hero killer. I heard most of his victims are found in alleyways, said Endeavor. Gran Torino realizes that the possibility could happen and chases after the kid, while Endeavor tells the other heroes to go around the city finding anything suspicious of this hero killer. Izuku chases after this aura, which begins to fade as he gets closer and closer, and he hears screams and moans of pain. He then spears the sky at incredible speed, blasting down an alleyway and sends Stench flying with a kick. The villain spins and crashes and dents it as he spews blood. And Izuku will then land as he turns to see Iida, who he finds has a sword at his heart. Quickly, his instincts kick in and he slowly pulls it out while reverse cursed energying his shit and stitches his body back together. It hurts. I'm sorry, just only for a little bit more. While he heals him, he takes notice of another hero nearby, Native, but he doesn't seem hurt, he's just paralyzed. As Iida grunts holding in his pain, the sword is eventually fully pulled out, and Izuku holds it. His eyes turn dead. What did he do to you? Stain slides down the wall, and his head is like kind of banging right now. Like he was hit pretty hard. He has to crack his jaw back in. I can't move. It happened after he licked my blood, said Iida. Oh really, said Izuku. As he looks to his fist, he licks the blood of Stain on it, and the villain feels a numbness go through his body as he thuds to the floor, with Izuku then spitting out this disgusting blood. What the hell did you just do to me? Asked Stain. His body then begins to regain feeling, and he instantly bounces off the ground as soon as he touches land and takes out his other blade, aiming for Izuku's throat, when from behind the arms of a giant latch onto him, grabbing and shattering his weapon. Rika herself is quite angry. You're gonna pay for what you did to my friend and his brother. Mydoria, don't. You'll just become like him, said Iida. Well, the only way to stop me is to end me, but you're not gonna do that, said Stain. Only the true hero like All Might's gonna end me, got it? As he releases a massive bloodlust, Izuku's cursed energy explodes erratically as he pulls back his arm, striking him in the stomach and causes a black flash to occur, and he spews a mountain of blood, making Rika let him go. Ew. As he thuds to the floor, his eyes turn dead, but he's, recovered because Izuku's obviously not going to kill him, but he is out cold. I'm nothing like you, but I'm still inexperienced. Pardon my temper. Iida then regains the feeling in his body, and at that moment, new footsteps are heard, and they turn to see Todoroki arrive on the scene. I'm too late, aren't I? Nope. Right on time, said Izuku. He then walks over to and helps up Iida, with Todoroki running in and being shocked upon seeing the hero killer, which, as he looks back at Izuku, and then back at him, and then back at Izuku, he says, I'm assuming he won't get back up. Hopefully, said Izuku. It's kind of insane. He might. Thank you. Native stands as well, and Todoroki helps him up. Rika drags Stain across the floor, with the four of them then making their way out of the alleyway and looking around for people, which they don't see. By the way, how'd you end up here? Izuku looks to Iida, who says, I stumbled across him. Not that I didn't indulge in the idea of revenge, but I didn't want to ruin something so good. I retreated at the last moment. It still doesn't excuse it. You don't need to explain yourself to us, said Todoroki. Just don't do it again. From experience, no one should ever delve into that dark side. Trust me. That goes for you too, Izuku. Of course, I'll never do that. Where the hell did you get that from? I didn't teach you that attitude. Hearing this voice, Izuku turns and is kicked in the face by Gran Torino, who comes from nowhere, landing as he scolds Izuku while Rika sees. And on the scene, as he appears, other heroes come as well, including Endeavor. Is that the hero killer? What is with the interns here today? Like, they're just kids. Shoto, are you okay? Asked Endeavor. Not your business, old man. Back off. Oof. Even Endeavor has issues, thought the heroes. Just then, some reporters crowd around, bombarding everyone with questions, and Rika instantly drops Stain, but then a screech is heard, and the heroes tell the reporters to get down as Stain slowly opens his eyes. His body twitching as his body then also kind of reacts instinctively when a Nomu dives down, and he lunges at it like crazy, like a crazy animal, biting into its neck as it screeches, and he tastes his blood as it crashes with its wings then giving a last struggle as he skids far down the street. How driven is he? Thought Izuku. As he stands, the villain leaves a pocket knife in the brain of the creature as he marches forward. What a shot at me, you idiots. You imbeciles. If you want to kill me, stop me, and you'll have to claw my soul from my body. Go ahead, try. It's not gonna work. Only a true hero like All Might's gonna stop me. The pressure from Stain in that moment, his will is so immense that everyone was frozen still. But then drool begins to roll down his face, and Gran Torino was the first to notice. He's out cold. He's out cold? As he comes to a stop under the moonlight, they realize that he was still out of it. The impact dealt by Izuku wasn't light, so though he looked like he wasn't, dealing with anything, He definitely was, and this is a moment that none could ever forget. It was etched into the cameras of the news and later into the minds of many. After this incident, the kids couldn't just take the credit. Well, it isn't because, you know, the police are being dickheads. It's because they could very well make the Hero Association look bad for making kids do reckless things or such. Even if they didn't tell them to, people might assume that they did, and people always do that because, I mean, some of those kids are their children. And honestly, it could also ruin their own careers. If the Hero Association has a bad rep, they can't really become good heroes, you know. So Izuku allows the credit to go to Endeavor. The internships eventually come to an end. As he holds his case before Gran Torino, Izuku bows to him on the fine morning, thanking him for training him. Do stupid things like that again and you're dead. Sorry, but I would do it as many times as I need to. My friend was in trouble. You sound like he did. Both so stubborn. Stay safe, kid. Alright then. If we're lucky, One for All will have a perfect successor. As long as I save people, I don't really care who gets it. Yeah, that's just like you. Go away. I'll see you later, sir. He would then turn and run off, waving goodbye as a smile creeped on the old man. What impact will Stench's message have on the world? What is Izuku's hero name? Find out in the next part of My Hero. Peace. I'm gone.